All right, you asshats. Want to dive into some real shit today? Let's cut the crap and talk about Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Yeah, Cambridge, motherfucker. You think it's all fancy-ass hats and punting on the goddamn river?
I can see why people might think that.
Think again. We're going deep into 800 years of history, scandals, and enough Nobel Prizes to choke a horse.
Oh yeah, it's a place packed with history. And definitely more than meets the eye.
Buckle up, Buttercup, because this is going to be a wild ride.
What's wild is how this place became a global powerhouse of academia.
You mean that shithole founded in 1209?
Yeah, that one, 1209. It's this crazy mix of ancient traditions and cutting-edge research.
Okay, 1209. That's fucking old. Like older than my grandma's dusty-ass vibrator.
That's one way to put it.
And get this, the reason they even started this place was some Oxford scholars got their panties in a twist and had to escape. But are drama queens, I swear.
The Oxford-Cambridge rivalry is legendary. It's like two siblings constantly trying to outdo each other.
So basically, a never-ending pissing contest.
Pretty much. Intertwined, but fiercely competitive. The history of their, disagreements is actually pretty hilarious.
Speaking of history, let's talk about these goddamn colleges.
Yeah.
30 fucking one of them. Are they dorms? Fraternities? What the hell are they?
Think of them as mini universities within the university.
Like a university inside a university. What kind of bullshit is that?
Each one has its own vibe, its own traditions, and some are swimming in a ridiculous amount of wealth.
So basically like exclusive clubs for rich kids.
Not always, but yeah, some of them are pretty elite. It's kind of like Hogwarts houses, but with way more academic rigor.
Yeah, less magic, more bullshit exams, I bet. So how the hell do you even get into this place? Is it all geniuses and trust fund babies?
The admissions process is brutal. Top grades are just the starting point.
Just the starting point. Jesus Christ.
The interviews are intense.
I bet they are.
And, well, having rich parents doesn't hurt, but they're making an effort to be more accessible. They've got things like foundation courses for students from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Foundation courses. What the hell are those? Sounds like some bullshit remedial crap.
Not exactly. They're like one-year programs to help students who might not have had the same educational opportunities get up to speed before applying to a degree.
So, like a crash course for the underdogs, huh? Interesting. But let's be real, having a fat stack of cash probably still greases the wheels. Okay, so you're surrounded by all these brilliant minds. But what about the actual teaching? Is it all stuffy lectures and dusty old books?
One of the things that sets Oxford and Cambridge apart is the tutorial system.
Tutorial system? What the fuck is that?
Basically, you have one-on-one or small group tutorials with a professor in your field.
Wait, so you're telling me they actually give a shit about teaching? That's almost unheard of in academia.
It's pretty unique, yeah.
Usually professors are more concerned with their own research and ego stroking.
Well, the tutorial system is a core part of the Oxbridge experience. It forces you to engage with the material deeply, develop critical thinking skills.
So you're telling me these kids are actually getting a quality education? That's almost enough to make me believe in the system again. Almost. Yeah. But let's be real. Cambridge isn't all sunshine and roses. We've got to talk about the scandals. This place is practically overflowing with them.
Oh yeah, Cambridge is a breeding ground for controversy, that's for sure.
Sexism, protests, maybe even some good old-fashioned espionage. Give me the dirt. I want to hear all about the fucked up shit that goes down in those hallowed halls.
We're talking sexism, protests, maybe even some good old-fashioned espionage.
Oh yeah, spill the tea, motherfucker. Give me all the juicy details on these Cambridge scandals. I bet those stuffy academics have a shit ton of skeletons in their closets.
Well, for centuries, women were completely barred from getting a proper degree from Cambridge.
No shit.
It wasn't until 1948 that they were finally allowed in fully.
Fucking hell, 1948. That's practically the Stone Age for women's rights. What a bunch of backward-ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, it took them long enough.
What else you got? Hit me with some more scandalous shit.
There have been tons of student protests over the years. Mostly about the university's investments, you know, fossil fuels and other shady-ass businesses.
So basically, they talk a big game about being all progressive, but they're still lining their pockets with dirty money.
Pretty much. And then there are the allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct within the university.
Damn. Sounds like they need to clean up their act. But hey, at least they produce some brilliant minds, right? Who are some of the famous alumni we should be worshiping?
Oh, the list is ridiculous. We're talking Newton, Darwin, Stephen Hawking.
Oh, wait.
A ridiculous number of Nobel Prize winners. Even some actors and musicians you wouldn't expect.
Okay, I get it. Lots of big brains. But let's get to the really good stuff. What about the hidden treasures? The coolest, most valuable shit you can find at Cambridge.
Hidden treasures.
You know, asking for a friend who may or may not be planning a heist.
Let's see. Ancient manuscripts, Darwin's specimens, even the original diary of Samuel Pepys.
Wait, they have Pepys' diary? The one with all the juicy gossip about 17th century London?
The one and only. This place is a history nerd's wet dream. But good luck getting your hands on any of it. They guard that shit like Fort Knox.
Challenge accepted. Just kidding, maybe. So, Cambridge. A breeding ground for brilliance, but also a hotbed of controversy and scandal. Sounds like my kind of place.
It's definitely a complex and fascinating institution. What's interesting is how much history is packed into that one little town. Like Newton strolled those same streets. Darwin probably had a pint at the same pub.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have a pint at the pub than stroll around thinking about physics. But hey, that's just me. So, all this talk about history and academics, what's the vibe like there today? Is it still all stuffy and uptight, or have things loosened up a bit?
Cambridge today is a lot more diverse and dynamic than people might think. Sure, you still have the traditionalists clinging to their old ways, but there's also a thriving student culture that's pushing boundaries and challenging the status quo.
So like any other university, you've got your share of nerds, jocks, stoners, and party animals.
Pretty much,
Right.
but with a higher concentration of geniuses per capita, of course.
And the parties. Are they any good?
The parties can get pretty wild, especially during May Week.
May Week? What the hell is that? Some kind of pagan fertility ritual?
It's basically the culmination of the academic year, a week of balls, garden parties, and general debauchery. Think Animal House, but with better accents.
Sounds like my kind of week. So, if I were to visit Cambridge, what should I check out besides the obvious tourist traps? Give me the insider scoop.
Well, you got to visit some of the college pubs. They're steeped in history and have a unique atmosphere.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Eagle Pub is famous for being the place where Crick and Watson announced their discovery of DNA.
Drinking beer where scientific history was made.
Yeah.
Now that's my kind of pub crawl. What about museums or libraries? Anything worth seeing?
The Fitzwilliam Museum is a must-see. It's got a world-class collection of art and artifacts, and the Wren Library at Trinity College. It's absolutely stunning. Imagine studying surrounded by all those books and manuscripts.
Yeah, I'd probably just end up drawing dicks in the margins.
Eh.
So we've talked about the good, the bad, and the downright scandalous. What's the final verdict on this Cambridge shithole? Is it worth a visit, or should we just stay home and watch documentaries on Netflix?
It's definitely worth a visit. It's a place that will challenge your assumptions and leave a lasting impression. Love it or hate it, you can't deny its significance.
All right, so we've dug deep into this shithole they call Cambridge. It's a goddamn roller coaster ride through history, brilliance, and a whole lot of bullshit. Geniuses, trust fund babies, groundbreaking research, alongside protests and scandals. Fucking
You
trip.
could say it's a microcosm of society.
All the best and worst of humanity crammed into one little town. And to think this whole shit show started because some Oxford scholars got their asses kicked out. Talk about a chain reaction of epic proportions.
It's quite the story, isn't it?
What's fascinating to me is how much history is packed into those streets. Newton's, Darwin, Hawking. It's mind-blowing. Like, they walked the same paths, drank in the same pubs. I wonder if they ever got into any bar fights.
Knowing academics, they probably argued about philosophy and mathematics instead of throwing punches.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a throw the first punch and ask questions later kind of guy. So here's a thought for all you asshats listening. What if you went to Cambridge? What mark would you leave on this place? Would you be another stuffy academic, a raging protester, or maybe even a goddamn spy?
It's an interesting question. It really makes you think about the impact one person can have, even in a place as storied as Cambridge.
Damn, you're good at this whole deep thinking thing. You should write a self-help book or some shit. How to be less of an asshat by expert speaker. I'd buy it.
I think I'll stick to academia for now.
All right, folks, that's a wrap on our Cambridge deep dive. Hope you learned some shit and had a few laughs along the way. Remember, knowledge is power, even if you use it to plan your next pub crawl or heist. Until next time, stay curious and don't be a dick.